Hey guys, this is Dan from DPS Breakdowns. In today's video, I'm going to do a deep dive into Yianni Diakomihalis' 2019 NCAA run. So I'm going to cover all 5 of his matches, and I'm going to kind of pick and choose the sequences I thought that were interesting, educational. Hopefully they can be helpful for you. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks. Before we get started, just a quick announcement that I've recently launched a Patreon page. If you guys enjoy my content and want to support and contribute to it financially, this is an avenue to do so. As an added perk for supporters, I will be creating Patreon exclusive match analysis videos, some of which will be similar in format to this one. If you're interested, please check out the link to my Patreon page below. Thanks guys. So let's start with Yianni's first round match and work our way chronologically all the way to the finals. So we'll start with this first clip. And we've got a slide by off the elbow tie here. So let's take it a little bit slower. So first detail to notice, opponent's gonna take a shot with his right arm. Yianni grabs that underhook with his left. You can see already Yianni has the elbow tie with his right hand, gripped just above the elbow. And watch how he makes this switch here. So he's right at the elbow here. Now he grips up, chokes up about to mid triceps. And he's going to use that grip to slide the arm by and get around to the back. So just a kind of an overarching concept here, whenever we're talking about a slide by, and this doesn't matter the particular variation, and there are several kinds, the big goal is to get around the opponent's elbow. That's the barrier that we're trying to get around. So in this particular version, you can see Yianni grabs that mid triceps grip. He's going to be pulling that grip towards him. He's also going to be raising his elbow high, and what that's going to do is it's going to create put some stress on the opponent's left hand or his left wrist, and make it difficult for him to maintain that grip. Also, while he's doing that, he's also going to change his angle, Yianni's angle. So you can see right here, they're facing each other, him and his opponent. But as he pulls that arm across, he's going to actually end up facing the same direction as his opponent here. You can see he's gotten past the elbow, and now he's got the takedown for 2. Let's run through that one more time, all the way from the beginning. So opponent shoots, Yianni grabs an underhook, chokes up on that tricep grip, slides it by, gets around for 2. Next clip. Here we've got an arm drag. Really good looking arm drag, and a little trip there at the end. Let's run through that again. So you can see here, Yianni's got this thumbs down wrist control with his right arm on his opponent's left wrist. And he's gonna use that grip, he's gonna pull the wrist across so that he can grip the opponent's left arm with right at the tricep here. So Yianni's left arm comes across, grips the tricep, and he's going to use both of those grips together to pull. And you can see once the tricep grip connects, he's going to let go with his right hand, and that's the hand that's going to be reaching around to try to grab the far hip. So he pulls through, starts cutting his angle, gets that far hip, and he's got the takedown. He's got this little trip at the end too, so as the opponent tries to get up to his feet, Yianni's going to kick that right leg through right at the ankle, bring his opponent back to the mat. Pretty crafty. So just one more time. Notice too how Yianni's already thinking about the angle change as he's performing this movement, so he doesn't wait to drag the arm. As soon as he grabs the tricep here, his right foot is stepping around already in anticipation. He's going to drag that arm, right hand finds the far hip, gets his little trip here, and that's 2. In this next clip, we'll get a little taste of Yianni's takedown defense. So here we've got the opponent, little hand fighting. Opponent gets in on a single on his right side. Gets in fairly deep too, but as we'll see, it's not good enough to get Yianni, to get a takedown on him. What he's looking for is a combination of hip control and ankle control. In this clip, he's going to jump over. Right now he's got double ankles. He's going to tip the guy and really just preventing his opponent from having a sturdy base to be able to finish this takedown. You can see he's grabbing that far ankle. The guy just can't keep his hips square to the mat very easily. And what he's ultimately looking to do is right here. He wants to dump him down to his hip. Once he can get him on the hip, let's go back a little bit here. So right here you can see the opponent, he wants his hips down on the mat, pointed straight down, to have some decent strength. And he can't do it because his left ankle is being pulled here. And so it's super disruptive. And you can see Yianni's going to lock his hands here. And he's just going to dump him all the way to his hip. And that's going to be 2-point takedown for Yianni. And we've got some more of the same in this clip here. We can already see that the opponent's in on a shot. He's got his head to the outside. Again, Yianni's disrupting the base. He's got his hands in that crotch lock position, displaying his flexibility as well. And again, he's going to look to dump him onto a hip. Locks the hands, dumps him to the hip, flattens him out, and defends. Let's see some more defense here. Opponent's going to take a high crotch on his left side, and then we're gonna end up in this crackdown position. This is a position where Yianni is super comfortable. He's able to really utilize his flexibility. Really kind of reminds me of Kyle Dake from here. Similar ability to disrupt the opponent's base, defend the takedown, sometimes even reverse the position. So opponent's building up, but you can see that lock. Yianni has that S grip between the opponent's legs. He's going to roll him right through with it. And now both wrestlers are going to square their hips up. Now it's more of a head inside single situation. Yianni's going to grab that shin whizzer with his left hand. You can see he's gripping his own shin. He's controlling the opponent's far arm, so the opponent's not going to be able to lock his hands. Keeping that wrist control, and he's out. So let's see that. How did he get out of there? So really just kind of circle the leg out. When the opponent can't lock their hands like that, it's going to be a lot easier to slip out of the takedown. Moving on to round 2, Yianni's second match here. So this is right when the match begins. Opponent shoots in on this really nice low single right off the whistle. Yianni's going to lock in a cradle here. And he's going to be able to flip him over with it. Let's go back here. So, right off the whistle, opponent drops that left knee, grabs the ankle with his left, and he's got the head on the outside here. So pretty similar to the crackdown position we were just looking at. You can see Yianni's going to start building to his feet, which is impressive here. Not really easy to do, but he's going to get to both feet, and he's going to start bringing his opponent's right leg close to his head here. So he's actually, I'm presuming he has his left hand in the back of his opponent's right knee, and he's just bringing it close to the head. And that's going to give him the ability to lock that S grip in and cinch the cradle. Once he has that, he's really on the offensive from here. So the opponent's now trying to defend from this position. So it turns the tables pretty effectively. And you can see that he's going to be able to drive forward with it, keep the lock. Brings the opponent straight to his back here. Now he's going to lose the lock. So he's not going to be able to get a pin or any kind of back points with it. But still it uses it to not only defend the takedown, but get a takedown of his own. So let's see it again. Cinches it up. He's freeing his right leg. Now he's going to just drive him straight over. Really nice. Moving on. Here we've got opponent takes a shot. Yianni with the reshot. Brings his shelf up, and we've got a funk roll. So let's go back here. So an idea here is that a really good time to take your offensive shot is right after your opponent takes their shot. If you're able to defend it, there's this little window where your opponent is still recovering from their shot. They're going from, so right here, the shot. See the opponent on his knees. As he comes off the knees, there's this opening, and that's where Yianni's going to shoot, right there. So Yianni's got this nice single leg, hands locked. Gonna build his shelf, but as is so common in college wrestling, as you start building that base up, opponents are gonna roll underneath here for the funk roll. Really effective. So the opponent has Yianni's left ankle wrapped up. He's gonna look to start building his base. But now Yianni's gonna go for some funk of his own, so he's gonna jump over, start grabbing ankles. And watch how Yianni's gonna use his free leg here to pry open the elbow, or really kind of push at the armpit there and free his own leg. So that's pretty cool here. He's controlling his opponent's ankle, he's kicking his own free, and now we're right back on the single here. So again, he's gonna elevate the leg, grab the far ankle, and that's 2. Really cool sequence there. So from the beginning, we've got the shot, and then we've got the reshot. Yianni starts shelving up, opponent rolls through nicely. And the nice thing about the effective thing about the funk roll is you may not even score yourself, but it's just so easy to create a stalemate situation. But Yianni's able to free his own leg. He jumps over, kicks at the tricep there, the armpit area, frees his ankle. He still has the opponent's ankle from when he grabbed it. Now he's gonna build up, kick the leg out, secure that far ankle, and get his 2. Next one. So the opponent is behind Yianni here. Yianni's gonna throw in the whizzer. Start peeling the arm, hips in, really nice. So let's go back a second here. So look how Yianni's gonna reach behind, grab his whizzer. He's gonna start peeling this. It's called a seatbelt position here. The opponent's got this right underhook across the waist, and as he peels that off, the opponent is going to start bringing his other arm underneath Yianni's leg because he's losing control of it with his right arm. As Yianni feels that, he's going to hip in, and because the opponent's twisting his body, he's going to be especially vulnerable to this hip in maneuver. It's going to roll him straight to his hip, and now he's flattened out. Still on the single though. Strong whizzer, and Yianni's gonna step over. And bookmark this, guys. Some of you guys saw the finals. This is pretty much the same move he used against Joey McKenna on a couple occasions. Really effective. This is gonna work well when the opponent's base is low. So when he's based on his shoulder here, you can see how the opponent's on his left shoulder. He's short enough, he doesn't quite have the height. So it's going to be easy for Yianni to step over top here. And he's going to be able to secure the takedown. Really cool. So one of the cool things about watching film, that at least for me, is I not only get to see, the techniques and style and movements that I want to see from the person I'm watching, but I also get to see their opponent, and sometimes the opponents will do stuff that'll catch your eye and it'll be pretty cool. So this is one of those moments. So opponent's able to get to his feet. Yianni's gonna pull him up, and the opponent's gonna Granby roll through and finish a double leg here. So let's see this. And look at this. There's so many cool details. So as Yianni pulls the opponent up, opponent's gonna grapevine his left leg here. You can see that against the back of Yianni's calf coming up, and the toes coming up to the shin here. And what this does is it makes it difficult to lift somebody when they do this. It's kind of like it's restricting the path of the lift. But watch, Yianni has a counter for everything. He's gonna lift his own leg, and that's gonna strip it. So as Yianni lifts his own leg, his opponent loses the grapevine. He's gonna roll through, or he's gonna be able to throw him, but the opponent is ready for it, and he's gonna Granby right through. Here, really cool. And as he's doing that, Yianni's got his hands locked. He's gonna lose control with both of his arms here. And the opponent's gonna be in a really good position. You can see right here where Yianni's still kind of recovering from that movement. The opponent's already ready to attack. He's gonna drive right through. Get his 2. Okay, we are now in the quarterfinals. So this next one is going to be a really, really fun scramble. I'm going to play it all the way through, and then let's take a deep dive. So here we go. So it's actually kind of hard to even analyze this in real time. You have to really slow it down, at least I did, to be able to understand it. The result is 2 for Yianni, but let's check this out. We're gonna get a tie up here. It's gonna be a really cool slide by. So remember from before we were talking about getting past the elbow. The opponent has an over tie with his right. Yianni has a collar tie with his left. Opponent's gonna find that grip here below the wrist with his left arm. And remember, you want to look the same way as your opponent when you do a slide by. So the opponent changes his angle, brings the arm through. So you can see he's pretty much beating the elbow at this point, which is going to usually be a 2 on almost anybody. But Yianni is just so stubborn with the takedowns. He won't give them up. He's going to roll through here. So definitely a risky maneuver. He rolls underneath, and this initially looks like not only risky but really problematic because the opponent's able to keep Yianni's left arm here. So if you just stop the frame right here, this looks really bad. It looks like it's going to be at least a few back points, if not worse. So it seems to me like Yianni was trying to get his arm out, but it gets stuck. And even here, really, really bad. But watch how Yianni, I want you to look at his right foot. So check out his right foot here. And then check out his left shoulder. Those are the key points of contact. He's going to use both of those to get his hips pointed down. Right now they're pointed up to the ceiling. He wants them pointed down to the ground. So he uses those points, and you can see he threads his left leg through. So the left leg threads under. He's basing on his shoulder and his face, and he gets his hips pointed down. So now he's in a decent spot. Still not great. Still has his arm stuck there, but no longer in danger of having his back points against him. It's going to lock his hands here as well. So what this is going to do, you see Yianni has that S grip. It's going to prevent his opponent from settling his hips back. That's what he wants to do. Right now the opponent's based out on his head. He wants to get his hips back and get on top, but he can't do that now because his leg is trapped here. Yianni's got this tight grip around it. So what the opponent's going to do is he's actually going to try to cartwheel through it, or like kick the legs back. And as he does that, Yianni's just going to come up. So Yianni's on both knees right now. He's going to build up, get some height, and then here he is. Now he's on the top position somehow. He's going to drive through, and he's got his 2. So let's check that out again a little bit. Go a little bit quicker this time. So we got the slide by. Look at Yianni dive underneath. Looks really bad right now, but his ability to get his hips pointed down is so impressive. It's both technical but also very athletic. A lot of flexibility required to be able to do that. Just great mat awareness more than anything. It's going to lock his hands. The opponent can't settle his hips back here, so his weight is stuck on his head. And as he tries to kick his legs back, Yianni comes up with him and finishes it. Just such an impressive scramble there. So we've got another crazy scramble right after that one. Let's watch it through a little bit, and then we'll go back and take a closer look. A little slide by attempt here. Now watch the opponent's left wrist. It's being controlled. He's going to use it to duck under and attack, and Yianni cartwheels out of that, and now is on the offensive. So let's slow that down. The thing is, you really can't tell what's going on in these in real time. At least I can't. That's why studying film, and especially with having the ability to slow things down, is so important to see the details. But anyways, here we go. The opponent's going to look for that same slide by as before. You can see he's got the wrist with his left hand. He's got the over tie with his right. And he's actually he doesn't quite get it, but he makes Yianni fall to his right knee. Good attempt. Yianni's going to get that wrist control with his right arm. And watch how the opponent's going to use Yianni's own wrist control against him. This is really cool. So he pulls his own wrist behind him as he drops to a knee. He's not able to quite clear that elbow, but it puts him in a position where he's able to drive forward. Looks like he has an underhook with his left, and then some tricep control with his right, and Yianni's not in a great base here. But watch how Yianni uses his right arm on the tricep of his opponent. His opponent's left tricep. It's kind of hard to see here. It's a little blurry, but you can see in this clip, Yianni's he's really opening up that tricep, and that just gives him just enough deflection where the opponent has to base out. Here, you see that? So the opponent's no longer attacking for this moment. They have to kind of, support their base. And as that's happening, Yianni's posting on his left elbow and his head, and he's cartwheeling through. He comes out. So again, opponent drives, Yianni throws him here, cartwheels. Really, really cool. So now let's see the rest of it. So now Yianni's in on the attack. Looks like he's got the hands locked. Gonna bring his head to the outside. Looking to secure that far ankle. Opponent's doing a good job defending. Yianni's bringing him back in. And now he gets that far ankle. There's a lot of tenacity there. So let's go back. So head pops out to the outside. He's not able to reach the ankle yet, but he gets his shelf again. Really, really common thing a lot of top guys do here is constantly elevating the leg. They use their own knee and hip to help support the leg as they do that. Pulls him back in, and look at how he moves his left hand down all the way to the foot and gets that double ankle control for the finish. So that's pretty much the story of this quarterfinals match. Two really crazy scrambles, really could have gone either way. Yianni comes up on top, and those two takedowns are what are the difference. One thing I did notice in the last period, the third period, was Yianni was grabbing this double wrist control a lot. You can see it here. Not exactly sure what his opponent's primary shooting hand is, but if it's his right hand, then this is very stifling to have to deal with. You can see that double wrist control, a little fake there, and then even later he's going to go back to it. And so if that's the hand that you enjoy, that you usually lead with to take your shots, you really have a tough time scoring unless you can clear that. So it's a really, really good defensive move, especially when you're up, not much time left, and you're kind of riding the clock out. All right, folks, we are on to the semifinals. So Yianni's opponent here is a kid named Jaden Ironman from Missouri. As someone who watches wrestling, I'm actually kind of ashamed to admit I didn't really know who this guy was prior to the tournament this year. I've actually spent a decent amount of time studying his results from the tournament. Super impressive. Probably will put out a similar video to this one for Ironman. But anyways, this is a really fun match. Really enjoyed it. So let's dive right into it. So Ironman did on this low single right away, and check that out. Yianni's gonna ankle pick him, secure his takedown. So here we go. Let's back to it. So Ironman shoots in with his right hand, grabs the ankle. Look at how he shifts his angle here. And he's immediately looking to elevate the foot. But check out Yianni. Always has some kind of trick up his sleeve. He's going to grab Ironman's left ankle here. And you can see Ironman brings his right foot forward, and so he now has more of a square stance, and this is going to make the ankle pick especially effective because Yianni has no base. If you can see my cursor in this direction, that's the direction of the ankle pick. There's nothing to prevent Ironman from falling in that direction if Yianni can generate the necessary force to do that as he pulls on that ankle. So he's going to pull. He also has a whizzer. It's hard to see here, but he has a whizzer locked up with his right hand. And that's going to force Ironman to post his right hand. And whenever you have to post a hand, especially when you're using both hands to attack offensively, when you post a hand, now you have one less hand attacking. So now Yianni's going to be able to circle that leg out, and now he's on the offensive. So look at that. Ironman's got 2 hands on Yianni's leg. As he's forced to post, now he only has 1 arm, and Yianni is able to circle the leg through. So check this out. Ironman's going to go for a little elevator here, but Yianni's going to catch. Look at how he bases out on that right foot here. As soon as he does that, he's going to bring the left arm around, wraps up both legs, and that's going to be good enough for the takedown. Last time, go a little slow. Low single. As he builds up, Yianni picks the ankle, circles his own leg out, and now he's got his own single. Wraps the other leg, gets his 2. So I want you to check out this little feint step that Ironman does. And the reason I want you to note it now, and let's go through it, is because Yianni starts becoming savvy to this. It's really cool. So that was all it was. So Ironman, he kind of does this throughout the match, all of his matches really. He'll step that right leg and change his level. And it usually elicits some kind of response. And you know, from there he could maybe follow it up with an actual shot. But hold on to that for now, and let's see what happens a little bit later in the match. Still early. It's gonna do. You can see Yianni's already swiping at that lead leg, that lead right leg here. On to the next one. There's that fake again. He's gonna do it again here, but he's gonna actually shoot this time. Drives in, switches to that single leg, shelves. Yianni looks for the ankle pick again, but this time Ironman's ready for it. So let's take a closer look. So pay attention to this. This took me kind of an embarrassingly long time in my personal training to really realize that the shot comes off of the back, the power comes from the back leg. So this is a good illustration of it. See how Ironman lifts his lead leg? He's driving off of his back left leg. That's where the power comes from. That's what allows you to really generate some speed and close the distance. It's the back leg that does most of the heavy lifting. So you're gonna lower the level, drive off that back leg. Shoots in for a double initially, but he's gonna switch to a single here. Check out that flexibility again. He's got his shelf. And check it out, Yianni's right back to that same ankle pick he hit earlier. This time though, Ironman's able to get a little more elevation on the leg. He also seems, it seems to me, he's a little bit taller this time. So you generally want to be as tall as you can in your base. If you're bent over, you're a little bit weaker. When you're tall, you're really strong. It's really hard to tip somebody over, especially when you're like Yianni in this situation and you're much lower to the ground. Ironman's also going to go for a cradle here. So Yianni, as he goes for the leg, he's moving his head closer to his knee. And Ironman's going to look to cinch that up, and Yianni kind of bails on it and falls off. Of course, this isn't enough to get a takedown on Yianni. He's still going to fight. But Ironman's going to keep that ankle control, circle around, and he's actually going to get both boots in along with the takedown. So just one more time on that one. A little bit quicker. There's the fake. There's the real shot. Comes in. Elevate. Nice and strong. Goes for that cradle. Keeps that near ankle elevated up. Gonna walk around. Throws in the boot right away with the right. Then he throws in the left. So this one's kind of just like a random aside here. But one thing I noticed it at least twice, but I picked it up in this match, was Yianni is looking for a foot stomp here. So he's looking to actually step on his opponent's foot. At least that's what it seems like to me. Here, you can see how he's aiming for the lead foot. Just misses it. Ironman pulls it back. Just something I noticed. He didn't actually score anything with it. I had actually just seen there was a Indian wrestler. His name is escaping me right now. He got second at Worlds last year. Actually lost to Adagaro, who I've done a video on. But this Indian wrestler was hitting this stomp move on Jordan Oliver. He hit it a few times against him just a few weeks ago at the Dan Kolov International Tournament. And so just kind of random. I'm wondering if this is something that Yianni does or is adding to his arsenal, where he's actually stepping on the foot and using that to score. So moving on here. Check that out. So I told you earlier, I've been trying to point out Ironman's feints, that fake he does with his lead right leg. And Yianni's really catching on to it as the match goes on. It's really cool to see. High level guy making in-match adjustments here. So watch as he fakes it, Yianni's already reaching for it. We're gonna keep going. And look, he fakes again, and Yianni's kind of reaching again. And of course that means the next time it happens, the third time, is the charm. Yianni's gonna grab that ankle. Really, really slick. Just waiting for it. Now he's not actually gonna be able to finish this. There's a short time on the period, and Ironman is a hell of a scrambler, so he's gonna be able to kind of ride that out. But just something, really cool idea of seeing somebody do a certain pattern, and then figuring out as the match progresses how to exploit that pattern. So just one more time on that. The fake, and as he's pulling the foot back, Yianni's on it. So you can see that again. The fake, Yianni's looking for it. End of the second period here. There it is again. The fake, and Yianni grabs that low single. Ironman's gonna do a good job here, grabbing his own hip control, kind of giving Yianni a little taste of his own medicine here. And again, he's gonna ride the timeout and escape the takedown. 4-3 heading into the final period. And so the semifinal match is gonna come down to this final sequence. So about a minute left in the third period here. There's the fake. Fake again. Yianni looking for it. Another fake, and Yianni gets it. One more time on that. Fake. Grabs it right at the ankle. Really, really good timing. But Ironman, just like Yianni, just because you get in on his legs, it's not enough. There's a whole another line of defenses you got to get through here. So there he's looking for the ankle. Yianni's elevating Ironman's right leg, but Ironman's got Yianni's right ankle elevated off the mat here. And so here you can see the ref is counting. So I'll be totally honest, I'm not super up to speed on the danger rule, exactly what it entails. But essentially, Ironman's position right here, even though he's not taken down, if he hangs out here for too long, I believe it's the 3 seconds, the refs are going to award the takedown to Yianni. So that's what happens. So 1, 2, 3. That's going to be 2 points. Watch as Ironman starts coming up here. Yianni's going to lock in a cradle, which he's not able to keep. And so he locks it in. And look how Ironman does a really good job here. You can see how he's based on his right hand over here. He needs that height to be able to break this lock. If he's down to the mat, if his right shoulder's on the mat, it's going to be way easier for Yianni to keep the hold. But you can see how Yianni's kind of like hanging in the air here. And so it's going to be tough to sustain. He's going to lose the lock. But we're kind of right back to where we were. It's another scramble situation. Neither guy with control. But Yianni technically has the takedown here because of that danger zone rule. Yianni's going to hang on to the leg. It's a stalemate. But the match is going to go to Yianni due to that takedown from the danger rule. And with that, we are officially ready for the finals. And this is going to be Yianni versus Joey McKenna from Ohio State. So we're going to kick things off about 15 seconds into the first period. And here's McKenna taking that sweep single shot to his left, which is one of his best offensive maneuvers. And he's going to score. He's going to get his 2. So let's see how he does it. So check out that little fake. a little head tap here. He's gonna use that. Shoots in with that left arm. With the sweep, you really want to change that angle, so you don't want to come in head on, or at least you want to quickly change to the side here. So he's got the left arm wrapped, the right hand posted. This is actually how Kerry Colott teaches a sweep. Something I've personally played around with too. A lot of people think you need to lock the hands, which is not necessarily wrong, but you can still have good control with one hand, and you can use that posting hand to really maintain a heavy base, or rather a high base, while your opponent drives down onto you. So you see how he's able to kind of hip in a little bit with that right hand posted. Now he's actually going to switch to locked hands at this point. And here, he's built that shelf with his right knee. He's going to drive forward and take Yianni right down to his hip. Of course, Yianni's going to get the elbow post right away. Look to build back up, but it's already been two has already been awarded. One more time. Nice head tap. Sweep to the left. Hand posted. Left hand wrapped around. Here he's stripping Yianni's grip off of his wrist. And he's going to drive forward. Uses that shelf to help elevate the leg. Drives Yianni back. Straight onto his left hip. Really, really well done. So this sweep single from McKenna and Yianni's defense to it's going to be a major theme in this whole match. So here we're going to see another attempt by Joey, but Yianni's able to get his legs back. A little bit later, another attempt. He gets in on the leg this time. He's locking his hands, head to the inside. Look how Yianni knocks him down is able to flatten him out there. He's controlling the ankle. Now he's looking to lock up the crotch lock. Yianni's still got the leg, but he's not in a position where he can score out with it. That's going to be a stalemate call, so just check that out again. Yianni's in. So the way that, Joey's in. The way that Yianni's able to knock him down to the hip is super important here. When the opponent's on the knees, they're relatively strong. Ideally, they want to even get up to the feet, but knees are still pretty good. But when you can knock them down to a hip and flatten them out here, there's really no way they can finish the attack. They're going to have to kind of reverse engineer, but you have to build all the way back up. And so Yianni's grabbing the back of the knee, just making it so difficult to generate good base. He's so good at doing this. And there's a stalemate. So here's where things start to get pretty interesting. So 30 seconds left in the second period. McKenna's up 3-1. Yianni's going to take a shot here, and Joey's going to grab this 2-on-1 control and start swinging around to his left. And he's going to parlay that into his sweep single. So he's got the hands locked in there pretty deep behind the knee. But again, Yianni is so good here at bringing his opponents down to a hip. And then check this out. So if you remember way back, beginning of the video, the very first round, Yianni was in a similar situation where he was able to get his opponent broken down to the shoulder. You can see here Joey's on his right shoulder rather than being on his elbow, for example. And when this happens and the opponent has a single leg locked, Yianni likes to step over here. And what that does is it puts him on top. It also it gets rid of the lock. So Joey's lock has to come off. Nobody's shoulders are going to be that flexible where they can follow that. So it's going to break the lock on his leg, and he's going to get under this top position here. And you can see Yianni's trying to stabilize it to get his 2, but Joey's able to roll out. So there's going to be a couple alternate angles here. Let's see if this is a little bit better. So again, knocks into his hip, and check that out. So Yianni keeps his whizzer, takes a big step over. He's going to keep that whizzer in there. And he's also posting on his head to kind of try to withstand the bridge. But Joey's able to roll his way out, You can kind of see there, look at how Yianni's controlling the elbow as well. Pretty cool. So here's one final angle. And this one, yeah, you can really see that. You see Joey's right elbow, how Yianni's controlling that as well. So Joey would ideally like to build up to that elbow, have that elbow as a post, but Yianni's elevating it to prevent that as he's stepping over, and he's maintaining that control. And so there, it's really kind of just a judgment call whether that's a 2 or not. They don't call it a 2. Ohio State's actually going to challenge that, or rather Cornell's going to challenge that ruling, and the refs are going to uphold their call, so no 2. And so fast forward a bit, we're now in the third period. McKenna's up 3-2, 30 seconds left in the national championship match. McKenna's going to shoot that single on his left side again. As usual, Yianni's going to be disrupting the base. He's on the hips, but defending here is not going to be good enough. Yianni really has to score something of his own to be able to have a chance of winning this match. Looking for his crotch lock here. He's able to bring McKenna down to a hip, which is a good start. Check this detail out too. So you can see Yianni's going to reach. He grabs the triceps here. So that's McKenna's right arm. So as McKenna, he grabbed it right here. So as McKenna tries to thread his right leg underneath, he's not able to because that elbow elevation. Yianni's pulling that elbow up. So super high level detail there. McKenna's going to come the other way, and then he comes right back to where he was. But Yianni brings him right back down. He's got that waist grip with his right arm. And then this position to start looking really familiar now. Yianni's going to cup that bottom elbow, and he steps over again. So he just did this last period. It was challenged. He's doing it again this period. This time, he's able to get that right boot in. And that may be the difference of why they call it a takedown this time. McKenna still has his underhook in. McKenna's going to start building up. Yianni feels this. He's going to roll underneath. So it's pretty cool. He's not going to wait to get shaken off. He's going to kind of jump off on his own terms. He dives underneath, and right away he's able to square his hips to the mat. And he's going to defend. See how he's able to prevent McKenna from running around by wrapping his left arm here. And time's going to run out. Of course, Ohio State's going to challenge that. Let's see some replays on that. So this hip disruption is super, super important. There's the step over. He's got the boot. The ref calls it 2. Soon after, McKenna starts building up. Yianni's going to jump off. Somehow manages to square back up. And we got this little sky cam here. See that elbow grip? I really like that, how he grabs that elbow first. Yianni grabs the elbow, steps over, gets his boot in. So, they actually award McKenna the 1 for the escape. And so this is a tie game, not really a game, a tie wrestling match, I guess I should say, going into the overtime. So now we're in overtime. This is sudden victory, so whoever scores the takedown is going to get the win. 30 seconds to go. And wouldn't you know it, sweep single by McKenna to the left. And look at Yianni, bringing the hips back and forth. Does a little cartwheel, and he's going to come up here. Let's go back a step here. So this is a maneuver that Yianni did earlier in the tournament as well, where he's able to get this crotch lock. He falls off the side, and he rolls McKenna all the way through. Now he's going to take him back, again to the other side. McKenna's still doing a good job of hanging onto that leg, which is going to prevent Yianni from being able to get his base up. But look how McKenna's gripping it. It's not going to be sustainable. And there it is. Yianni's able to free it. And now McKenna has nothing. His hips are pointed to the ceiling. Not ideal. He has no control of Yianni's legs anymore. And Yianni still has his crotch lock. So check this out. Yianni's gonna bridge. He's gonna base off of his right shoulder, and he cartwheels through. And this is so cool. Look at the timing of this. So McKenna is savvy enough to know he's got to catch a leg here. You know, he doesn't have control. So he's gonna reach for it, but it's just a split second too slow. Yianni's just one step ahead. Look, as he jumps over, there, McKenna's looking for it. Now he's gonna try to come around the waist, but his angle's not good. Yianni's now in a position to elevate that single leg. And so this is it, guys. 20 seconds left, national championship. Takedown wins it. And what happens here? He's gonna kick the leg right out. Kicks it out, right above the knee. McKenna goes straight down. And that's about as clean as you can get on a single leg finish. And that's gonna do it. Yianni's all pumped up, as he should be. Really, really cool performance. And he's the national champ, 2nd year in a row. That's gonna be it for today. Thanks for watching. If you find my content helpful, please consider supporting me on Patreon. We'll see you next time.